If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. About 2 months ago, after the release of Honestly Nevermind, that very experimental Drake album that dropped in June, we started talking about a possible Scary Hours 3. There were a lot of hints towards this, and most importantly of all, we had Drake directly confirm this on this thing that happened back then, the Table for One, the SiriusXM podcast that he went on to promote. Honestly Nevermind, right when it dropped, he hopped on there. He had a couple of things to say, like, yo, go listen to my new album, stuff like that. But then also he said, I got another Scary Hours pack coming too in a little bit. Maybe not right now. I need you to just take this in right now. So honestly, never mind. But I have a Scary Hours. I'm going to slap some head tops out with the Scary Hours pack. I love this stuff. And then when asked when this was going to drop, he added, it might not be that long. Like I said, I'm working on the Scary Hours. So back then, obviously, after he said this, a lot of fans started speculating when this might drop. He directly confirmed this. We know that a Scary Hours EP usually drops before he drops an album. We've had this happen in 2018 with the first Scary Hours with Diplomatic Immunity and God's Plan, which then led into Scorpion, and then once again in 2021 with Scary Hours 2 that led into CLB that released about half a year later, I think exactly like 6 months later, the same way that it also happened with the first Scary Hours and Scorpion. So there's always this correlation in between. And the fact that we didn't get a Scary Hours before Honestly Nevermind, but he said he's working on a new one, probably, means that there's a new album still coming. Since we didn't get it just yet because, summer's already over and we're still waiting for this, there are a lot of theories out there. A lot of people think that October is coming up, and obviously October has a very special meaning for Drake, October's very own, so they think that it will drop in October, which would be next month. A lot of people also see this as a plan B for Honestly Nevermind, which apparently to a lot of people flopped. It didn't do as well as Drake's other albums, but it didn't flop. To me, it didn't flop. I know DJ Academics hopped on this one. He was like, yo, this is like a fail safe for Honestly Nevermind. He had that theory out there that he was going to drop the Scary Hours right after the experimental one to kind of bring people back to being like, okay, Drake can actually rap, he can actually deliver something. And his kind of like thing for going off of this was Jimmy Cooks, the last track featuring 21 Savage. That is also by far doing the best out of the entire Honestly Nevermind record. And that record is hip-hop. That record is actually, Drake and 21 just rapping. It's not nothing of that very experimental house R&B fusion that he did on the rest of the album. And that's also where a lot of other stuff comes in. Like Jimmy Cooks is the starting point for a lot of theories. There has been this video going around. A lot of y'all also sent this to me on Instagram. There is this clip going around. Now, I have not heard this podcast yet. I don't know the people in this video. Please explain it to me, because a lot of people, send around this video, but I have no idea where this is coming from. But it's these two people talking about, how Jimmy Cooks was supposed to be on Scary Hours 3, and that he just put it on Honestly Nevermind to kind of get people, still going for a little bit before he drops the actual album that is coming out, to kind of get people over that gap in between Honestly Nevermind and Scary Hours 3. And it did work. Jimmy Cooks is doing pretty well. It's like, this whole plot seemed to work because they're waiting for the new rap stuff to come out, which would be, of course, a Scary Hours 3. And that's kind of where this whole theory comes in. Jimmy Cooks was supposed to be on Scary Hours 3, so in conclusion, Scary Hours 3 is going to be again a lot more of the more hip-hop stuff, more rapping on there, and nothing of the R&B singing stuff, which would be, of course, in direct contrast to Honestly Nevermind, which was a lot of that singing stuff, which would again go with the theory that this is the failsafe. So that's kind of where this whole thing comes full circle. A lot of people obviously also have their own expectations and own hopes for this record. I've seen a lot of people online. I came across this one fan-made thing that someone posted on YouTube. He took his own beat and put like a Drake verse over it, and he titled it like Scary Hours 3. And of course, it's just a fan-made thing, but I wanted to put it in here because it completely encapsulates encapsulates what I want from like a future Drake project, which are those like 2011, 2012, 2013, those very eerie sounds, those very like, meditative sounds. You can kind of like get into a certain space. But I'm talking about like the Club Paradise, the Trust Issues, the Paris Morton music, stuff like that we got back then, that we got in the Care Package album in, I think 2019 it was. Stuff like that I hope is going to make the cut. I hope even if it's not on Scary Hours 3, that is going to be on the album coming afterwards. That is the Drake that I think could still at least capture a lot of the old fans that kind of gave up on him after efforts like Scorpion or CLB, and especially after Honestly Nevermind. That's kind of like where I think he could pick up a lot of the old fans and still combine it with stuff that the mainstream wants, which is like the Jimmy Cooks type of style, because the mainstream didn't respond too well to the Honestly Nevermind genre switch, which is of course not a bad thing. A lot of people discuss this, but it seems like Drake is still the best when he's in his hip-hop element, when he's in this rap singing, the so-called hip pop, the one that we call like that, lane that he is in, and it seems like that is still where he performs the best. So Scary Hours 3 is very likely coming soon. He said he was still gonna have it coming out this year. He said he got another one coming. He said it's not right now, back in June, on June 21st, when Honestly Nevermind dropped, but he said it might not even be that long. He's working on it. And so 2 months have already passed, almost 3 now, I think. Yeah, it's almost been 3 months, and at some point he could definitely drop it. I think the most tangible theory that we have on this one right now is the one about it dropping in October, just because, it's very Drake related that he would drop something in October, and it could definitely go in the whole theme of like, a darker season, the fall coming up again, then dropping a Scary Hours. I think the whole thing would just go hand in hand. So that is my theory as to when this album is dropping, but of course it's still up to him to officially announce something like this. I believe once we do get a Scary Hours 3, there's a big chance that we're going to get an album after that, which would then, if he dropped the Scary Hours in October, and you calculate like 6 months into the future, like the time gap that are usually in between Scary Hours and a new album coming out, it would put the album release in April. And I think an album release of April or May, whenever he might decide to drop that, maybe he'll go a bit more than half a year, there will be definitely something coming up in 2023 that he could still like carry it into the summer and have something that people are spinning in the summer. I think he kind of missed out on that with CLB, which dropped in September, so the end of the summer. If a Drake record like Scorpion, for example, drops at the beginning of the summer, I think Scorpion dropped in June, July, I think it was July, then it's definitely something that people are going to keep spinning for the whole summer. So yeah, that's it. Drake might drop Scary Hours 3 at some point. Jimmy Cooks was apparently supposed to be on there, but let me know what you think about that. What do you hope to see on this new record? Do you want it to be more of a contrast to Honestly Nevermind? Do you agree with, the whole DJ Academics thing, that it was a fail-safe for Honestly Nevermind? And what's your theory as to when this is dropping? Is it October? Is it even later? All your thoughts and theories on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.